Hello again, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about dragon castle gates. There are two types of dragon castle gates. One's a mountain, the other's the water. A mountain dragon castle gate needs a dragon vein, and I will describe what that is in a bit. And a water dragon castle gate needs a water mouth, which I will also explain in a little bit. There is another form of castle gate that doesn't have any words in front of it, and that's actually the one most people have heard about. I'm only going to give a couple of examples, but if you want a more complete description of these two forms with all the different directions and possible combinations, you can go to another YouTube channel that's entitled Feng Shui Expose, and there he discusses all the different ones, but they're in two different files or two different videos. One will be entitled Mountain Dragon Castle Gate, and the other is entitled Water Dragon Castle Gate. Now, if you want to take advantage of these forms, it's good because then your house will receive very strong positive energy. However, most countries where Feng Shui has been used for some time, these locations are already occupied by temples of various religions or belief systems because this is a really good place for really good energy. And this is one of the more important buildings. If you're living in a place that hasn't done much Feng Shui, you may be able to find the conditions where you could place a house there. Now, this is going to give you a lot of energy if you live in this house. And if you're someone who isn't already okay with having high energy, then maybe this is not a form you actually want to use. It depends on you whether or not this is good. Dragon castle gates are a way of tapping into energy that is coming towards your house, but it's not in either your house's sitting or facing directions, because these are the typical ways that you activate good stars in your house. But this allows you to do it beyond just those two directions. And it is based on the 24 mountain ring, which is shown here. So, of course, we have south, southwest, west, all of these, but not just these big areas. We subdivide them into 3 different areas, and it's always 1, 2, 3 all the way around. Each of these are 15 degrees wide. And then, of course, this makes up 45 degrees, and then you've got your 360 circle. So when it comes to mountain dragons, we can only tap into one of the adjacent sectors. And it has to have a her-to relationship. Now I'll talk a little bit more about exactly what the dragon vein looks like in a more clear example. And it should be clearer when I get there, but what I need to say is that you can't just mix and match blindly. If you have if the dragon vein is coming, let's say this is coming in from north 2. This is, so north is pointing the opposite direction. Then that can only come into an area that has, it would be northwest 2. And that has to do with the her 2. But our cardinal direction is in north, and it has to be in 2. That's the only place in the 2 subsector, that is, that's the only place a cardinal direction can come in. It has to come in the center. If it's coming in from an ordinal direction, it can be 1 or 3, but it can only match to 1 or 3. You can't cross. So this is more or less what you would see as a dragon vein, something creating a dragon vein. Now, most of the time, these are actually ranges of mountains that have a ridge, but that was a little hard to create here. But Basically, if you stand here and you can see mountains stacking up in a line from where you're thinking of placing your house, and when you turn around, you can see some sort of chi mouth. Now, a chi mouth can be a lake. It can be the convergence of two rivers. It can be the convergence of two roads. But of course, real water, natural water is the best. But you could put a pond in here. So this is the easier part. This has to come from nature, and there's not much you can do about it. But it's that string of mountains that create a dragon vein. So this is the overhead view of what I just showed you. And so we draw a line through the peaks, and we go and it just keeps going and ends up in the chi mouth. That's good. You notice this happens to go right through the center of the house. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered, but it should go through as much of your house as possible. And in this case, the the dragon vein is coming in from northwest 1, and the house is sitting in is sitting in north 1. It's facing south 1. And this is a HER2 combination. Here's that chart for her HER2 combos. So even though it's coming in here from the northwest, it cannot combine with 7. It can't combine with the west because this is not HER2. Only this is HER2. This is HER2. These two are HER2, and these two are HER2. So if it's coming in from the northwest, it can only combine with the north. Here's a close-up of that. So we're sitting in north 1, and of course it's coming in from northwest 1. So this happens to be almost perfectly 45 degrees. It doesn't have to be perfectly 45. It just has to be in these subsectors. As long as it's in the subsectors, it's okay. So there's a bit of play in how far off these two can be. But it all depends on what sectors we're talking about, these subsectors. And if you have all these requirements, it will allow this house to tap into the mountain dragon energy. And this will give you lots of energy. You can get a lot done living in this house. So here are some satellite views. And this is actually the easiest place to see dragon veins. So you can see there's one like here. And you can almost see this could be a leg. Maybe there's a leg here. This could be an arm. Maybe there's an arm here or something. Here's the head. It actually looks a little like an animal. Here's another one. And here's another one. And there's even some over here. Now this right here, this set of peaks are the highest of this particular range here. And so this is the source of the start of a primary dragon vein. And so I've highlighted the dragon veins here. And this one, there's even a little bit here, but this, because there's another mountain here, it can go through this. Now there are roads, and there's an intersection right here, and right here. None of these intersections have a dragon vein pointing at them. So you can't just place your house according to that. You would have to create your own chi mouth. And remember, that's a road junction can be a chi mouth. Now you can see no natural water here, but you can place water. So if this is a place you want to put your house, because this is the major dragon vein, then you could either have your driveway enter the road along this line, or better yet, you put in a large pond or a swimming pool or something that is along this line. Now, a swimming pool or a pond, big pond, is better because you don't have to get it perfectly aligned. A driveway is quite small, so it's a lot better with a water feature. And then you can have your driveway enter the road wherever it needs to, wherever is convenient. And it's also not quite so picky. So in this case, this dragon vein is coming in from northeast 3. That means the house must face sit east 3, and therefore face west 3. So this is the way it works. And that's just it. I mean, I can't quantify more than this is what they have found in the past. This is how it works. When it comes to water dragon castle gates, what you need to do is see the convergence of two rivers, and you have to see that point at which they converge. And this is what creates a water mouth. And the way we find linkages here is not so much adjacent sectors, but it is other sectors that are linked through the early and later heavens Bakwa. Now, that will give every incoming water mouth direction, the water dragon, two possible directions, and it's all through here, with the exception of these four. If your house faces one of these four directions, you simply cannot take advantage of a water dragon castle gate. But that doesn't mean these houses are bad, because these things are also very, very rare. So this is a situation. You've got to be able to see where two rivers converge, and that's the water mouth. And then you need to note what is the direction of the water right after they converge. And in this case, it's heading this way. Now, sometimes very slow-moving rivers will split. That doesn't count. That's not a water mouth. We're talking convergence only. And you could have a house above it or below it. It doesn't have to be one or the other, but it has to be in line with what is the direction of water just as it leaves this intersection. Of course, most houses aren't built over water, and I would never suggest you do that. So this river will bend or go someplace else. It doesn't matter. As long as at this point it's pointing towards where your house is, then it's good. So in this case, the water is coming in from here, so it's coming in from the south. So we highlight the south in both the early heavens and later heavens Bakwa. So here, the south in early heavens Bakwa is Qian. And where is that over here? It's in the northwest. So now these words here are the names of these gua. And that's why it's called Bakwa, 8 gua. That's exactly what it means. And here we have south with Li in the later heavens, and it's located in the east, also Li. So these three directions, the south, the east, and the northwest, are all interrelated. And in this case, it's the twos. And we do have to be worrying about these subsector 1, 2, and 3. So it has to be, if it comes in at south 2, it has to be east 2 and northwest 2. And these three directions are also seen in the 7-star robbery. So there is several links here. And you can do that with any one of these directions. So it can be done, but what that means is your house could face northwest 2 or east 2, and you can still tap into this water dragon castle gate. And it also gives you a lot of good energy. Both of these dragons castle gates are quite rare. I have not had a chance to work with either because they really are quite rare. If you happen to have both, which is even rarer, the mountain dragon castle gate supersedes a water dragon castle gate, just so you know which one to look at. Now, again, each of these castle gates needs to match properly down to that 15-degree angle range, that subsector in the 24 mountain ring. So that's basically it. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me here if you have any questions, or visit my ad-free website for more information. Also, please subscribe because I will be having new videos up on a fairly regular basis, including the ones that are time-based. Thank you again for watching.